friends. I've been drawing. I've been doing some stuff with Copic markers. These I got on Amazon so cheap. It was like $30 to $35 for like over 100, I think. Sometimes the cap is a little misleading as to what the color you're going to get. So I can't really trust the cap. But it's okay because the colors are looking good anyway. I'm going to start a new one. How are you doing today? How is your nervous system? Are you doing all right? What do you think about today? I know this is a recording, but today is Friday on the East Coast, and it is sunny, and it is a little breezy, and it is in the low 50s, and it is really lovely. That's kind of my favorite thing. I think I'm going to do yellow. Did you want to get some art supplies out and do some stuff? I think you could. I think you should if you want to. Remember, there's no pressure here. Safe space. Anyway, so today I have therapy. And I'm going to talk about these new videos I'm making. Sometimes I feel afraid about making these videos because I don't know, like, who the heck is going to be interested in these, number one. And number two, what if people say really hurtful things in the comments? What if people are really critical and mean? And I'm like, I don't know if I could handle that. I think that would be terrible. But I kind of think, well, maybe it's just something I can deal with as it comes. You know what I mean? It's kind of a big, scary thing to kind of jump out there and put your stuff online. But I think it's important to tell your story. And I also think it's important to allow yourself to be a little bit vulnerable. Because otherwise you're just holding all of your beautiful crayons to your chest. You're holding all of your beautiful colors. And you're not letting anybody see them. And I know that it's hard to sort of convey online really who you truly are. There's always going to be editing, and there's going to be there's going to be filters. Hopefully I don't use any filters. This purple nail job is definitely not filtered. This is real. And it's definitely DIY. Anyway, yeah, I think it's hard. I think it's hard to open out. But I in my previous episode, I talked about making sure that you keep in touch with your therapist. And making sure that your therapist knows, like, what's going on. And I thought, well, that's just kind of a part of it. That's part of it. That's not all of it. Because there's also community. And for where I am in my life, both of my parents passed away before I turned 30. And I have a brother who lives out in California, who I get to see a few times throughout the year. And I get to connect with my nephews, but, a lot of people would be like, this is where you rely on family. Well, I live in Virginia, and, sort of my immediate family has been reduced by 50%. And so I have my husband here, and I also have a fabulously loving, safe community of Christians that I call my family. They are incredibly kind and merciful and generous with their prayers and their love and their support. So I know that in the last episode I said, well, make sure your therapist and your doctor or nurse practitioner, whoever, if you have one, knows what's going on. But I left out the part too, which is okay because this is a work in progress and everything is like to be continued. But I think it's also important to let your community know what's going on. A couple of weeks ago, I was in a very deep, dark, scary place with feeling very, very triggered by some external circumstances. And I was really starting to go into hypervigilance and hyperarousal. My brain was just kind of short-circuiting, and I was kind of it felt like a dark train tunnel. Does anyone ever feel like that? Does anyone ever have moments where like your brain just starts to go into like protective overdrive? Yeah, that's kind of where my brain was. I felt really lost. I felt really alone. And I'd taken some medicine to like calm my brain down, just like a really nice light dose. And it didn't do anything. And I feel like it almost seemed like trauma or symptoms of this complex trauma that I have was like knocking at the door. And I didn't even see it coming down the street to my house. It just hit me. And the medicine that I took just didn't even touch the anxiety that I had. So I was in a really scary, dark place that day. And I decided to, thankfully, it was Wednesday, which is the night that I go to visit with my friends at my house church night. And I was able to just be honest. And I told them, like, this is what's happening. And I'm really afraid. And it's definitely biological. And I don't know what to do, and I don't know what it is, and I feel really sad and scared. And they just listened and came around me and were so kind and so comforting and so lovely. And I thought, gosh, I can't go to house church in the middle of like what feels like a mental health crisis. Like, you know, keep your junk at home. But I was like, you know what? No, I need to go, and I need to be with my people. And my people were so kind and so wonderful to me. And I think I've gotten to the point in my life where like I used to like search for fixes whenever I would start to get triggered. I would like ask people, do you think that I'm this? Do you think that I'm that? What do you think this is? And, you know, people tried very hard to help me and calm me down. Also, while I'm coloring this, my friend who I mentioned in the previous episode, who is the art teacher, said, if you want to make something stand out and make it look more polished, do dark lines and outline. So that's what I'm going to do. I just found like a really beautiful dark grayish blue, and that's what I'm going to do. So anyway, so yeah, sorry about the squeaks. But that's kind of the joy of markers, right? Doesn't it remind you of coloring as when you were a kid? Hopefully that doesn't bring back any bad memories for you. But yeah, so, So like I said, kind of tying back to the previous episode, definitely keep your community. And if your community is family, oh my goodness, I'm so happy for you that you have that family. But I will say God really, I feel like God met me there. It wasn't this sort of like moment where like I knew that God was there. It wasn't like that, but I walked into my friend's house and her little 3-year-old leapt into my arms and yelled my name and then basically forced me to play with him, which was absolutely like the best thing to do. Sorry about the marker squeaks. And I really enjoyed it. And he was just like a beam of light that you could not even extinguish. Like there's always going to be light coming out of this child. And he is just such a source of joy. Yeah, and so like community has been really kind and really understanding. I've been in communities and I know that like it's really hard for those of us who have undergone or experienced like a spiritual abuse. So, and I have, and it is wretched what it does to your relationship with God. But this group of people who are doing their best to follow God, and I've never heard a Christianese thing ever from them. They quote the Bible when it's appropriate and loving and on time. And they're really good at relationships. And I adore them. And I feel like it's like the first family that I've had in a very long time. And I know that there are people that I am related to in the U.S. and I hope I don't take them for granted. But like this is a spiritual family that I'm just so thankful for. So if you have spiritual family, I hope you do. They are so wonderful and kind and safe and gentle. And they have represented who I believe to be the body of Christ. It's been pretty amazing. So anyway, so there's lots of little bumps and stuff here. Do you hear that scratching? That's my cat. That's the other cat without psychological issues scratching at the glass door of my shed. But he's just going to come in here and he's just going to plop on a chair and fall asleep, and I don't want to forget him. So I'm not going to let him in, guys. It's fine. He can go in the house. So what do you think of this so far? I think it's really nice. Anyway, sorry, I bumped the camera. Yeah, so spiritual family. And then, so that was on a Wednesday of last week that I went and just kind of bared my soul, and I just asked for prayer, and they were just merciful to give it. And it was really lovely. And then had a really good therapy session the next day on Thursday. Felt like I got some more concrete information from my therapist to be continued, to be determined with my nurse practitioner. We'll see if I get like a clear diagnosis of what type of trauma condition I have. And yeah, and so then on Friday, I was planning on going on a walk with a friend of mine who has a toddler and a newborn. And part of me was like truly praying it would rain, because I was like, I just don't feel like leaving the house. I have so much going on in my mind and my heart. My husband was out of town. I was by myself. I was like feeling kind of like my world felt very small and I should keep it small. But I was like, you know what? It's okay. Like, it's just going to be a walk. Going to walk around my friend's neighborhood. I don't want to ask her to put her kids in a car to drive to meet me for a walk. Like, that's a lot. So I get there and she's still napping with her newborn and her little toddler is just waking up in his crib in his bedroom. And I walk in and I'm like, oh, well, this is an unexpected shift. Like, I wasn't expecting her to still be kind of sleepy with her newborn, but it was really perfect. And so I said, hey, can I grab your little one from his crib? Will he be upset if he sees me? She's like, no, I think he'll be okay. Just try. So I did, and at first he didn't want me, and I was like, that's okay. I said, do you want to come and we can go see your mom? And then he put his little hands up, and I took him out of his little sleep sack, and we spent the next 2 hours together. And I just played with this little one, and he was so cute and so sweet. And I read to him, and it was just such a healing experience. I really loved it. So, yeah, it was really wonderful. And then she fed me dinner. And it turned out to be like basically the first day that she would have been on her own with her toddler and her newborn after like her husband's paternity leave, and family had to go back to their house or to their home, over an hour away. So it was just really perfect timing. And it really, I mean, my goodness, is there anything funnier than like a little toddler who is just silly and funny and laughing and making sentences and smiling and being goofy? Like, it was medicine. It was medicine to my soul. I loved it. And it brought me so much warmth and joy. And it still does. And I can't wait to see both of my friends' little ones again. There was no house church this week, and I was bummed because I just love to see the little ones. It's like my favorite thing. I don't know how you guys feel about little kids. Maybe it's not something that you are too crazy about, but anyway, this is my art that I made today. Anyway, yeah, so going back to that Friday, it was just they were just a sequence of moments where I just felt really held, and I didn't feel fixed by any means by my community, but I felt like it felt like a wonderful pause on all of the storms in my head. It was a peaceful pause that I was really thankful for. And it definitely helped like mute down and calm down my nervous system because it was such a beautiful pause. I was able to sort of like relax back into my body. That's the cat again. And so, yeah, it was really lovely. So I think don't discount your community. They're lovely. And I hope you have some. And I hope too that if you are feeling really sad or feeling like maybe you want to hurt yourself, or you are feeling like you just don't want to be around anymore, I think it's important to call 911 if it's an emergency, or go to your nearest emergency room. Like, that probably sounds really scary. But there are kind professionals out there who will receive you, who will speak gently to you. and who will want to help get you back, back to your home. I believe that. And I think if you can't find it at one place, you'll be able to find it at another. I have found a lot of help and a lot of hope in those places. And sometimes when I am in deep darkness, like the train tunnel, with noises all around, but I can't see much and I can't feel God and I can't sense him, but I'm reaching really hard for him. It's in those places. I lost my train of thought because I got really overwhelmed with the idea of the train tunnel. Yeah, even then, when you're in that deep train tunnel, I lost my track of thought, but it's fine. Because we're all works in progress here, right? Oh yeah. What I was saying was, when we're in that deep, dark tunnel, like, it's really important to remember, like, wait, there's a place that I can go if things get that bad. And I think that is something that trauma survivors have a really, really hard problem with. Like, when we're in sort of these, like, highly aroused, highly triggered, hypervigilance modes, like, we don't feel like there's any help at all whatsoever, and we are completely alone. And that's not true. And so I think it's good to remind yourself, wait, there's help out there. Wait, there is a place I can go. There is a place I can land. It may not be like the perfect place, but it's going to be a place that has professionals that will help you get to maybe a new place of healing, or maybe back to status quo. I mean, I guess that's all just depends on your journey, but I don't want to discount that. Yeah, so keep your community informed. It's important, because even if they can't fix it, they can absolutely pray for you. They can bring you a meal. They can just let you know, like, hey, I'm here. So, yeah. So the scaries happen. And I think when they do, it's good to reach out to people. I think that's I think that's going to be the name of this episode, is reach out to people when you need to, and reach out to people even when you don't. So, I think I'm going to write that down, and that's going to be the title. It's just going to be reach out. What do you think of that? Do you like that? What do you think of my lowercase e amongst all of the uppercase? That's just kind of life, isn't it? Reach out. Yep, it's going to be reach out. That's the message for today. And I want you to know that you're loved. And I want you to know that you're really important. And that you are a significant human. And yeah, I hope this podcast brings you some peace. Is it a podcast? It's just a YouTube video. Whatever. It's fine. But I hope that you find some peace. And I hope that you can find a tribe. And if you don't have practitioners that can help you, I really highly encourage you to just start the journey of looking for one. It may take us some time to find the perfect fit. There's lots of Reddit boards out there to help. There's lots of websites out there to help. I don't know what they are offhand, but reach out and continue pushing and continue fighting for yourself, and continue to regulate your nervous system as best as you can. That means listening to your body and saying, no, I'm not going to do this right now. I'm going to take a step back, and I'm just going to take a deep breath and let my body calm down. More on that, I'm sure. More to come. But again, full disclaimer, I'm not a healthcare professional at all. I'm not. I don't know how to diagnose anything. I just know my journey. And I know these are things that have helped me. They may not help everybody. So I'm not an expert and I don't claim to be. But I do love people. And I hope that you feel loved. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day.